I didn't check you guys' email right just before home called me. I knew today residence meeting.
Good morning, it's David here.
Morning, David.
Morning. Lars, are you running the meeting?
No, I think Adlin is running the meeting.
I just wanted to suggest that watching the whatever device it is that lets people into the meeting, because it's been hard to get back into meetings once you get dropped off. So is the person who's running the meeting hearing me right now?
Here.
Well, it's Barb who is the inviter of the meeting, so she'll be the one letting people in.
Yeah, and sorry, I might have missed you earlier if it was earlier on, because I was a little late in getting Hugh ready. So doing three.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. I couldn't get in the meeting, Barb, and the thing is that sometimes if one does get dropped off for some reason or another, it's hard to get back into the meeting, or you don't get back into the meeting. So could you watch for that?
Yes.
Thank you.
Morning, everybody. We've got
Morning.
Good morning, Helen.
David, Ellen, Hugh,
Helen.
and Barb so far. We might have other people dropping in. Nice to be back and seeing. So we were told that it would be lush when we got back, but I was even surprised how lush and green it was when we got back, because it was so dry and brown when we left. And in all our travels, we had one day of rain, really, out of the 30 days or so. So we were dodging the rain, I guess. So let's see, who wants to start with the check-in? And I know last time we started with some discussions, but I don't think there's any sort of big issues to discuss right now. So who would like to check in?
You start.
Good start. Well, some of you have seen our photos. Lan, have you seen any of our travel photos? No?
No.
Okay. We'll show them to you sometime. They're nicer on a TV screen. And Lars had an album of photos. Kira set this up for us, so that whenever we take pictures, we could put them into a travel album and then make little comments. So that's the first time I've ever done that. I was a little behind sometimes, and I'm still not finished. But it's fun for ourselves, but also fun for other people to catch our travels a bit. And I took more people photos because it was mostly, well, it was my family that we were visiting along the way. I have about 11 or so, or maybe 15, I guess, family members in the Calgary area, and another 11 or 15, probably 15 total, in Saskatchewan area, and a few in Toronto and London, Ontario. And then I have a cousin in Okotoks, which is close to Calgary, that she was here visiting, and then another cousin near where Phyllis is from. Maybe Phyllis knows how to get on here.
Oh, I should just mention, Phyllis is here. She's got her new computer set up.
Oh.
Couldn't get into it this morning, so she's here in the living room with us.
Oh, hi Phyllis. Okay, behind you.
I thought I saw her.
Right. Yeah, Minnedosa. Phyllis probably knows where Minnedosa is. So it's a jewel of a town in Manitoba, in a valley. So everywhere we were, everybody, people took us on little outdoor tours and walks, and of course the highlight was being with Cameron, Marley, and Kira. And we did something, had an adventure every day, and Lawrence will talk a little about that. I don't want to spend all this time about the trip. We can talk about it later, but it was nice to be in a different land and see our great Canada, like in going across it like that. I've never done that before, and I don't think I would do it again. The whole thing, I would fly to States and then enjoy it. But it was neat to do it once. Yeah, Lars did 2/3, maybe more of the driving, and it worked good because a couple days that I wasn't feeling well, he did pretty well the whole day, and then I could help when he was having a few back problems. So it all worked out really well. Even the slight disappointment of a detour turned out to be a highlight because of the detour on the #1 highway. It was amazing views of the radiant hot springs in that area and the whole valley. Yeah. So I will okay, I'll mention something else later. Okay, somebody else can check in now.
Maybe Lars.
Okay, yeah, I can check in. It was so great to be away and see many places that you could live, I could live, and see this beautiful country. But it's also quite wonderful to come home and see you all and realize that you have kept everything safe and secure at home, and the home fire is burning. Hi, Alicia, just coming on there. And so it's a blessing to be home with you all. So I just want to say that this morning. That's it from me.
I'd like to check in. It's a blessing to have you guys back. Yeah, we really missed you. And I've had a great month. It's been very busy at work, and I'm still really grateful for my job. Grateful for this beautiful place to come home to at the end of a long day. The days are long. My mom she was going to join us, and she still might. She's just busy doing something else right now, but she's struggling with the move and being in a different place, and so it's a bit of a challenge for her adjusting to being in BC. But yeah, I'm really grateful for Michelle and her partner, and I'm going to go spend some time with them today, so that's great. Yeah. Otherwise, life is just tickety, going on, nothing particularly different or exciting. Just sometimes the normal is great. I'm really grateful for it. Yeah. So that's my check-in.
Helen, you had a birthday this month. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Happy birthday too.
I turned 29.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, it was a good day. I went out for supper with my brother and his family somewhere in Delta, I think. We met halfway. So we met there and had East Indian feast at some bistro. It was lovely. So, yeah, it was good. My kids sent me flowers at work because I happened to be working that Saturday. So my 2 kids in Australia and Michelle got together and had flowers delivered, and that was really cool. Felt special, so that was nice. Yeah, thank you.
Me?
Don't all speak at once.
Okay, it's my turn. I was really busy because I have to take took care of La and Adeline's house. And I think no thief, right?
You know what?
No thief. No thieves. Yeah. That's because of me. Yeah. So and then I is in my if it is the first time in my life I registered swimming lesson level 1. Swimming lesson level 1. But I gave up already.
No.
Because I really enjoyed swimming. It's good, but the make swimming water is made me coughing again.
Oh.
Coughing because that the like chemistry, chemical things. It's not good for me. So and then okay, I will try again another exercise like fitness because I also want to do traveling all over the Canada like Lion Adeline. Yeah, I really want to listen your story, traveling story. And Zion passed the driver license test. Yeah. And everything is good these days. And then really happy on another thing, Hugh came back home again. I'm really happy. I appreciate it to Hugh. Thank you. That's it.
Thank you, Lon.
Okay, folks. Well, it's been an eventful month for us, and I think most of you know that Hugh was in the hospital. Came home a week ago, Tuesday, I think it was, and there was some kind of infection. And as far as I know, they didn't ever know exactly where it was. At least they didn't tell me. But they could tell by the blood test that it was dealt with. And then they really had to do a lot of checking to make sure everything was okay in his home situation. So that actually extended his time in the hospital while they were waiting for an occupational therapist to talk and with us and so on. Anyway, so considering how busy that hospital is, they did a really good job. When Hugh was in, he spent 5 nights in emergency at first. And in each of those cubicles in emergency, there were 2 stretchers. Like it was like doubled up. 2 gurneys. 2 gurneys, yeah. So they're really full and really busy. No, that's just he's muted. We've been waiting to find out to have this appointment at the hydrocephalus clinic in Vancouver to see what they would say about what the possibilities were of having a shunt put in. And so finally we had this appointment for Hugh, that would ease the pressure in his brain. And it was a really wet, dark day when we went, and I was so glad that we had used a taxi to get there so I didn't have to drive. Anyway, so we talked to the doctor, and basically he said that usually there's some risk with the doing this shunt, a risk of infection, but it's worth the risk because of the benefits that you get from doing the shunt. But he said in Hugh's case, there were other risk factors, and I won't list them all, but so that he felt that the risks outweighed the benefit that there might be, so he was not going to do the operation. So and that we knew that was a good possibility. So that was that, and we thanked him and, and came home. And Fraser Health has been giving us extra help in the evenings, and was talking to, oh, there's Brenda. They can provide some help ongoingly if we like. So I was just talking to a woman about that. So I'll let you know how that works out. So, do you want to tell about the stair lift?
Whatever.
Okay. Well, as you know, we have the stair lift in now, which is a real blessing. And it's not quite finished because they have to do some changes in some way so that the chair turns away from the stairs when you get to the top, so that you just step out. At the moment, if you press the button, it'll turn out over the stairs. So this coming Thursday, it's been a bit of a problem with because the guy got sick and so on and so forth. But he's coming on Thursday to do this adjustment, and then it'll make it even easier. But it's really nice to be able to just go and use this chairlift to go out, go for a walk, or go for an appointment, or whatever. So that's me.
Not you. Not yet.
Not yet. Well, we'll be able to. Yeah, we can use it though. We just have to be careful in how he comes off the seat at the top.
Yeah, you were out for a nice walk yesterday afternoon.
Yeah.
Yeah, we met up with Lars yesterday.
Yeah.
That was a good time.
Yeah.
The sunshine.
Yeah, just to get out because it's nice, Yeah. Even though I still want to mention how much I appreciate the people that helped Hugh get up the stairs for, I think it was about 8 months for different appointments and that kind of thing. They were so devoted to doing this. So, thank you once again. Lars and Adeline and David and Phyllis and Hong when he could. Okay,
Sure. Barb's covered most of the waterfront, and I'll dabble a bit. Really appreciated Barb's diligent work. And as she said, we went to Vancouver on a dark and stormy morning. And Barb's sister and husband came out with us, brought us home. And the chap we had for a taxi driver going in was someone who used to bring people to Edenvale over the years. So that was a full cycle.
when they would fly into Vancouver Airport, and he would pick them up at the airport and bring them to Edenvale.
And is there more to say? Oh, yes. Heather's coming for a visit. Probably
Probably the 21st.
Yeah, probably the 21st. And we're looking forward to that.
She's going to fly.
Yes, this time she's flying. Last 2 times she drove. Once in Lars, once in
Heather coming for a weekend, or for how long is she coming?
She's coming on, I think it's a Wednesday, and no, wait a minute, on a Friday and leaving on the Wednesday, something like that. It's 4 nights anyway.
Oh, no, it's
Great.
It's a Thursday.
Thursday.
Yeah, I think I got the date wrong. I think it's Friday the 22nd until following Wednesday, yeah.
Oh, good.
But she's still got to check out a couple of things, so I'll confirm it with you when it's definite.
Well, she works in the library. She should be used to checking things out.
She just has to check herself out.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm looking forward to when that stair lift is completed, because we still need a little help with it. Yeah. But it's quite a neat thing. We'll show it when it's all working. We'll show it to you. If you sneak a look before that, it's fine.
Yeah.
And it's good to have Lars and Adlin back again. We don't mind sharing them with their relatives once a year, but go beyond that is a bit much.
Can we have turns on your lift?
Sure.
A free ride.
No drinking beforehand, though.
Yeah, right.
Oh, geez, sorry.
I'll sell tickets. Okay, I think that's about all I have to say, except I have great respect for the British Columbia medical system, for the hospitals. It took me about a day to figure out where I was. But once I figured it out, it was great. And coming home was even greater. So I'm going to pass now. Give the rest of you a chance to say something.
Maybe Phyllis, who's in the back there.
Oh yeah, Phyllis.
Yeah, and then Alicia.
I'm glad to be here with everyone, and it's nice to have you both at home now, and I would say welcome. There were people who were saying that they could miss your energy, and I agreed. It just fills things out when you came home, but I'm so glad that you had such a lovely trip. And thanks for mentioning Minnedosa. My parents used to go there to take us to the dentist and do some intensive shopping, because it was a big center at the time I was growing up. It was beautiful. It's beautiful now, but not as robust. Yes, and I've got a new computer, but it is challenging me because it doesn't accept the password that I set for it. So I have to phone Carrie to come and help me out again. You'll probably be seeing me a few times. You've been very kind and brought me the computer. It's one with a, can you say what it is, Barb?
It's a desktop.
It's a desktop, yeah. So, and it seems like it's just a good idea to have that. A bit cumbersome because it takes up more space than a laptop, but that's what I got, so I'll have to work with it. But I'm glad to have it, because it's amazing how it opens up a world that you normally can't without the computer.
Yeah.
And so that's a vital thing in our lives these days, whether we like it or not. So life is just continuing on, mostly revolving around the computer and finding one and etc. And being able to communicate with the world, which is always very valuable for all of us. It takes us out of our own little cocoon, particularly for the retirees. And yes, I'm enjoying the weather. It's very beautiful here. I've talked to my sisters in Manitoba, and it's cool out there. But that's what they bargained for when they decided to stay in Manitoba. But it's lovely to connect with them, and I can understand how you felt that way, Adeline, about your connecting with your relatives and then connecting with Cameron. a very wonderful thing. You know, when I left from Calgary for Manitoba, my mother and father were very, very sad. They bought me a truck. I filled it up. My dad took me to the train, and that was it. And so it is a traumatic thing for children to leave home. I'm glad you had a chance to be with him and see his digs and his surround. Yeah, otherwise I'm happy to just be around and do whatever I can for Edenvale and enjoy the company that I'm blessed with. I'm talking to some of my friends. It's pretty lonely. And here I have an inbuilt community. It's a precious thing. So I'll pass it on to somebody else. Thank you.
Maybe I'll just add quickly that we actually ended up seeing 37 relatives. That was counting Cameron and Kira, because we saw Kira there. Mostly outside, except for when we were staying with people. They were all doubly vaccinated, and we observed social restrictions. But 37 is not a bad number. Not a bad number.
Yeah.
Hello, it's David here, and I'm preferring this morning, as usual, to be on the phone. Hope that's okay with everybody. Apparently, what's coming up now in the world of internet calling is a bit of resentment toward people who don't show up in video. So, for the moment, you'll have to put up with that. Just works better for me at the moment. Besides, I don't have full access to the computer in the sense of a camera right now. So I'm glad also to have Lars Nadlin back. And I realized that in certain ways I felt quite perhaps overly responsible for the fact that not trying to do Lars's job, but just representing Lars in the sense of security. The property turned out to be, not exactly an eye-opener, because I've always felt a sense of responsibility for security, but what goes into having a general awareness of the well-being of the property, I felt was mine somewhat more than I probably should have, and so I'm glad to have that a bit off my chest. But on the other hand, I'm anxious also to be more in Lars's world of sense of responsibility for the property, which I'm more aware that we all do have. And it's funny, the little things that come up, just realizing sometimes how unprotected and yet very protected that we are. And a lot of that, I think, comes down to awareness. You know, there are several in the community who basically don't go out after dark, and that was interesting to me because I found myself outside after dark a lot in this last month or so, just checking this, checking that, things that would come up, and looking to make sure the light was on down the barn, things like that. So I'm glad to be part of this community and to feel a sense of responsibility for something other than myself, I guess it is. And just feel thankful many times to be in a grouping of people who, you know, essentially have their lives pointed in the same direction. And many of us probably couldn't even say exactly what that is in terms of a description, but just a sense of oneness, that we're all on the same page. So thank you, and that's where I'll leave things. I'm really touched by various reports coming in this morning. You doing better, and Lars and Adeline. I liked Helen's report of getting flowers to work for her birthday. That's almost like Lars emailed me and said he'd seen. I think at that point he'd seen 29 visitors and there's 29 relatives in only 5 days on the road out to Quebec City. So I replied that actually seeing 29 friendly faces in 5 days sounds pretty good to me. So with that, I'll just pass on to the next person. Thank you.
Thank you, David.
I just want to also say thank you, David, for that great job on the bridge out back. That's beautiful work.
Thank you.
So you're welcome.
And also the picnic table. It is.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. David, I've forgotten to.
Yeah.
I didn't see it the first night. I saw it yesterday, and I was just blown away.
Yeah.
Blown away.
That's right.
Well, thank you. You know, Lars, you set up that tent before you went away, and that was the fork in the road. Getting that tent set up made it all possible. So I'm only a partial hero. So anyway, it's all good. I feel happy to have gotten that done, and it'll save Phyllis a lot of scrubbing on the picnic table next time we have an outside event. So thank you.
Thanks. Alicia.
Hello.
Hello.
Casey isn't feeling well, so she's just in bed still. But Riker and I are here with Bedhead.
Can we see Riker's bedhead? Oh yeah.
The lazy lump. Yeah, it's nice to see everybody together again. Welcome back, Lars and Adeline, to Edenvale. I know it's a bit rainier and gloomier here than where you were, but you have brightened it up with your presence, so thank you for coming back. Myself, I've just been busy with work as per usual. I'm learning how to be an effective supervisor and project manager, and the people management component of work is so tremendously different from what I've been doing in the past that I feel like I'm doing it on top of my other job. And so I've found myself staying later and later over the week, and there's a need to kind of put my foot down and reestablish some of my work-life boundary, because I just kind of let it go in the hopes that those 2 hours or 3 hours at the end of the day, when my team comes to me looking for guidance or mentorship or whatnot, that would just kind of fizzle out if I gave enough of the right answers and enough of the right stories, but it just kind of keeps happening. So I guess I have to lead by example, as they say, and say, no, it's the end of the day and everybody needs to go home, including myself. But yeah, I'm really grateful that, I have a roommate who can be home on time and make sure that my little son here has the opportunity to go potty and get some food, because the last little while I can easily be home at 7:45 p.m. I just haven't been doing a very good job of keeping myself on track like that. But yeah, even though it's cold and rainy and not the right kind of cold and rainy for going out and looking at frogs. It's the right kind of cold and rainy for writing funding applications. So that's where my brain is. How can I help create another 3 or 4 years of funding for somebody's position? And it's a lot of heavy brain lifting. So my brain is sore. But otherwise, I'm happy. Otherwise, life is good. And just always continuously grateful that I get to spend my days in this adorable little house on this gorgeous property, walking in the forest with my puggle. It's fantastic. I think there are oyster mushrooms in that forest. Does anybody agree with me? Does anybody know?
We've seen, Phyllis said yes, and I've seen them. Yeah, I've seen great big ones like this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's been my excitement lately. When I do get a chance to go out to the forest while there's still daylight, I just love taking pictures of all the mushrooms and looking at them, just like sitting there staring at them. They're so cool. And I think I found a clump of oyster mushrooms. I nibbled on them and I didn't die, so I'm hoping it's the right one. That's not the best way to ID mushrooms, but I promise I won't do that for anything other than things I'm pretty sure about. But yeah, it's an exciting time in the forest right now, for sure. I'll leave it there. Thanks.
Alicia, if you see any magic mushrooms, please let us all know.
I'll keep my eyes open, and I won't nibble on those before I report, because you might not understand what comes out of the report when I give it to you. Yeah.
Could I just add something? The other day, our care aide Sandra was here, and we had brought plants in from the deck to put in the spare room for the winter. And there's Max. Hi, Max.
Maxie.
And Sandra was kind of arranging the plants and so on about a week later, and all of a sudden she said, "Oh, there's a frog here," and it was a little tiny tree frog, about an inch and a quarter before he jumps, and so she kind of got him cornered, and then I covered him with a glass and put a piece of cardboard underneath and so on, so we could have a good look at him, and then took him outside to the bushes. But it was so, because we had heard tree frog, and I thought, where is it? Like, is it out there? It was in our spare room. So that was kind of neat.
The forest really sounds closer than usual.
Yeah,
How
exactly.
strange.
So there's such a piercing.
I've heard that as well. I was surprised that the frogs were so loud. I thought, what the heck?
Maybe there's one in your place too, Helen.
Maybe.
Yeah, because she brought the plants in, and some of them are quite large, so he must have been sitting on one of the leaves.
Right. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
I'd like to
So
just,
Lars wants to say something, and I have a few things.
yeah, I just want to add that we have a retreat guest for 3 nights, and I'm a bit confused whether tonight is the 3rd night or whether last night was the 3rd night. But her name is Ginny, and she came here for a 2-week class in the 90s, I think beginning of the 90s. And there's a number of people that will remember her who've lived here for a long time or have heard about her before. So if you see her out, say hi to Ginny.
Yeah, David and I saw her for a little bit yesterday, and I'm going to go for a walk with her today. She's interested in spending a bit more time here eventually. She's from Ontario area. Her family. The other thing is, I just wanted to say about the apples. We're also thankful to Marilyn and her ex-husband Barry, who grows them out in Kamloops and did all the work about them and gave them to us at no charge. And she said they've got so many boxes. If we know of anybody traveling from Kamloops to here, they've got more to send if you know of any way of getting it here. because the bears were starting to get into berries in town, so he moved them into another storage. The thing I wanted to mention is Michelle. We all got the message about Michelle, so we're sending extra love and care to her in her whenever she has her surgery. What have I got here?
That's Heather.
Oh yeah. What does that say? I wrote myself some notes, but I can't read them. Oh yeah, I wanted to mention about Clive and Jeannie. I don't know if you know that they're moving out of their house, and they can't move into their new house till the beginning of December. So they are going to spend the month of November in their trailer here over on the other side. So we'll probably see more of them, and I believe they're using the shower in Cedar Court. What else to mention? You probably know also, I don't know what you know because I've been away. Jen has moved on. Jen Busy from the retreat. She has herself another job, and so some of you know Sarah, who has worked for the retreat for many years. She has stepped in to fill in for much of what Jen used to do. And luckily, Sarah has brought along some of her family to help here at the retreat. Her mother and sister and connections. So whenever Sarah needs extra help, she knows where to get it. So that's been very helpful because there are a few workshops happening in this next 2 months. I just wrote down a note here about security. I guess there's still somebody staying at the truck yard for extra security. Is that right? Helping us out that way. One of the guys from the trucking yard is there overnight now.
Madeline, can I say one more thing about Clive and Jeannie?
Yes.
The other day I talked to Clive, and I was a bit stunned actually to hear that they're actually out of a house. They're homeless for actually 2 full months. So I was amazed by that. I thought when you had first mentioned this several weeks ago, I thought, oh well, they're probably out of the house for two weeks or something. No, it's 2 full months, and so they're Doug, the son and daughter-in-law, I guess, have provided a B&B for Clive and Jeannie to stay in. And I don't know, it sounded like it was still somewhat indefinite because Clive was concerned about the expense of that. But when I first heard about it, I thought, man, staying in a trailer in November, are you kidding?
Yeah.
They were going to use suites.
So anyway, I was just suddenly aware of it because, November in a trailer does, and I'm hoping they can continue with this B&B, but one way or another, obviously we'll be aware of them because they're going to need more than just a shower, I think. They might need a cup of tea too.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I just mentioned that because I was surprised when I talked to Clive the other day and got the larger story. So they're basically out of a house until the end of November. That's it for me.
They had looked into using apartment 10 over here in the retreat building, but because there's not a cooking facility in that apartment, they decided not to do that.
Yeah. Well, that's all I know. I just wanted to kick in that information. That's all.
Cameron no longer living there?
Sorry?
Cameron, is he no longer living in apartment 10?
That's
Connor.
Connor.
Connor,
No,
sorry.
he moved out at the end of
September.
Yeah.
So it's used for personal retreats now.
So unless somebody has anything else,
Yeah, Alicia, if you can keep us updated on Casey to make sure that she's okay.
Yeah, she's just been working extra hard the last little while. Her organization planned a big event for the Truth and Reconciliation Day, and then they had to cancel it at the last minute when the COVID restrictions came back online, and they just decided it wasn't worth the risk because they had a lot of elders who were going to be there. But now she's also having to plan an event that they want to have by the end of October that is going to be in exchange for the fact that they couldn't do this event. And it's an online event, and she's kind of in charge of putting it together, and she's just exhausted, and she's like, no, I can't do anything. So yeah, I think it's kind of like for both of us to just put your foot down and say, this is as much work as I can do, and I need to take care of myself too. So yeah, it's a difficult thing, but I think I'll try to work on it more and see if we can work on that together. Try to plan some more self-care into taking care of the larger community, either people or environment, as we both do. Yeah.
Speaking of community, some of you know that at Sunrise Ranch there's about 60 plus people who live there in Colorado. Well, and there's about 5 people who have been dealing with COVID, some more serious than others. I don't know all of the people, but anyway, that's just some awareness. And it's Thanksgiving weekend, so happy Thanksgiving, everybody. I know we're having Kira and her partner over on Sunday or Monday.
I'm looking forward to when we can actually do it together again.
Yeah.
It's been a couple of years now, before COVID, that we had Thanksgiving supper together, different people. So it will happen again, but not this year.
Say hi
What
to
some
all.
people do is some people go and park their cars at the Tim Hortons, and they pull up their lawn chairs and they all sit on the lawn at Tim Hortons. But it's getting even cool for that now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Great picnic bench if it's warm enough, on Monday afternoon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There might be some sunshine Monday afternoon. I just heard the latest.
Or leftover pie.
Right. Okay, thank you, everybody. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Barb, for setting it up.
Bye. Nice to see
Bye.
you.
Bye, Phyllis.
Say bye, Riker.
Bye, Riker.